So indeed, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this second meeting of the Joint Focus Group AI that is jointly organized by the European Digital SME Alliance and by EIT Digital. I'm glad to kick off this meeting about funding and business opportunities for AI innovators in Europe. We will have a rich agenda to indeed discuss how to leverage on the potential of AI SMEs and startups in Europe to develop AI technology and to put Europe at the leading position in the development of AI solution globally. We are organizing this meeting, taking stock of the developments on AI regulation from the EU level. We all know by now that the Europe has been the first continent worldwide to develop comprehensive regulation on AI through the AI Act. And as a community of SMEs, we were very happy to see the Commission following up on this legislation by proposing the AI innovation package initiative in the beginning of the year that promotes the actual development of AI innovation in Europe. So this meeting is indeed to discuss these developments and how these measures that come from the European level could provide the needed support to SMEs and startups to scale up their capacity to develop especially generative AI. Why generative AI? It's because this technology, we all know, has taken the world by storm in 2023 with the developments related to ChatGPT, and it can provide all companies with in-depth analysis of their data, with customized business plans, product and management ideas. Therefore, it's the type of technologies that SMEs should be at the forefront in developing to keep their position in leadership of innovation in Europe and beyond. During today's meeting, we will also address additional open calls on AI for SMEs. We will illustrate the EIT Digital Program, Accelerator Program for companies, and we will also have real SMEs innovators around the table to showcase the use cases of uptake of generative AI by those companies. So looking forward to the discussion today. Before going to our guest speaker from the Commission, I would like to give the floor to my colleague Orestis Strasanidis from EIT Digital for his welcoming remarks as well. Orestis, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Antonio. Your Greeks are getting better and better. Well, I'm happy to hear that. It's a few things from my side, because Antonio already provided the most of the information that is important for you to know. So I would like to first start with this. Yes, I'm representing the EIT Digital, but here we are representing a larger group, the EIT community, so also the other KICs, the manufacturing, the health, food, urban mobility are all represented through this initiative. And it's really important that we do this together with Digital SMEs Alliance, the EIT, and the Digital SMEs Alliance share a lot, but it's much more important if we think that as Europe, we need to work together. One thing that it's clear when we think about the global race on AI is that all the European stakeholders need to work together, need to find alignment, and to avoid the duplicating efforts. This is why we joined the focus group, and we are working together with Digital SME to bring more and more content for you and more opportunities. Having said that, I'm really happy to see also some familiar faces in the audience. And please be aware, as I mentioned before, that we will have more activities. And at the end of the program, we have a gift for the ones that will stay and listen the whole presentation. So this is from my side. And before I give the floor back to Antonio, I would like to say that I'm really, really happy that today we have the Cecile and all the other speakers. But I had the opportunity to meet her very recently, and I'm eager to hear more about the Commission activities and their approach. So thanks a lot, Antonio. Back to you.
Thanks to you, Orestes, and indeed we are very glad to have here with us today Cécile Houet, Head of Unit of Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Innovation and Excellence at DG Connect in the European Commission. Cécile, thank you so much for accepting our invitation, and indeed we are looking forward to hearing from you the plan of the European Commission to support AI SMEs and startups via the AI Innovation Package. Over to you.
Thanks a lot. Good afternoon, everyone. It's really my pleasure to be with you this afternoon to present the package. Let me share my screen, and I hope you see it. Yes, and especially to this audience, because you are key stakeholders in this AI innovation package, and it's extremely important to build a strong community and show what we are doing in Europe and put really Europe on the map of AI and especially generative AI. So let's see if that works. Yes. So very quickly, of course, you've seen the tsunami generated by generative AI, and yeah, what happened with ChatGPT, with an adoption with a rate which we had never seen before for such a technologies. So it's going to be really a transformative technology and have an impact on everything, on all the companies and the society, the enterprises. So this is why it's so important to make sure that in Europe we are not only customer of American or non-European solution. We need really to be at the forefront of mastering this technology and developing it the way we want, and make sure we are we reduce this dependency we have on non-European companies, and to make sure that we ensure our sovereignty in that critical technology that is going to be key for our future. We know, however, that this technologies has demonstrated amazing capabilities and prowess, and they can generate some input which are really similar to at the same level of the one generated by humans. But we also know that they have limitations as well, and we have to be extremely aware of that limitation in terms of sometimes they can be excellent, but sometimes they can hallucinate and do something completely wrong. And also, besides that, there are some risks regarding bias, regarding disinformation and things like that. So we have to be aware of the whole situation, but that's not an excuse to avoid working on that. So we really need to understand it and develop in Europe as well. So that was why we launched this package. And what we want to do is to make sure that we provide the right resources to all our stakeholders in Europe to make sure that they can develop those models in Europe in a way to offer a competitive offer to our industry, to our public service, to the scientists as well that are already using these technologies. So what do you need to develop a powerful model? You need computing facilities, you need high quality and a large amount of data. You need to be at the forefront of the AI algorithm themselves. You need the talent both to develop, but also to for the professional to make sure that they have the right skills in order to exploit the capabilities of AI in their own application field. And finally, we need also to have a lot of developers in Europe to be able to develop solutions for the different sectors we have. So in terms of computing capacity, we don't have those cloud hyperscalers at the same level that the one which exists in the States, but we do have a public facility, which is the Euro HPC supercomputer. So this is the alternative offer we want to give to our SMEs and developers of AI in Europe. In terms of data. We have a number of initiatives, both legislative and also funding measure to support and facilitate the access to high quality data with the data space in particular. In terms of AI, we have been funding for many, many years now, support to research and innovation in AI, and we will continue doing that. We have adapted or call for proposal to adapt to this new generation of AI. And in addition to that, we also want to encourage private investment for the startup and the SMEs in Europe, because we want to allow them to grow in Europe and not to be only bought by a non-European one, or getting investment and then losing their European dimension. Regarding talent, this is something extremely important, and there we have to also leverage on all the different possibility we have to develop talents in Europe and retain talents in Europe. So that's an important part of the package as well. And finally, last but not least, what we need to do is really work hands in hands between the developers of AI solution, European ones, and the industry and public sector and science, to make sure that we have a competitive offer for those different sectors and develop together with them a solution to address their problem. So the innovation package, oops, if I go to the next slide, yes, has a number of elements. So there is this communication, which is the document, the umbrella document that includes all the elements. All in all, it's a 4 billion package, which includes the two, in terms of technical implementation, two main, let's say, pillars. The first one is about providing these computing capabilities around the AI factories, and this is to develop the foundation models on which then the Gen AI solution are built. So pillar 1, Euro HPC amendment, AI factories. Pillar 2, Gen AI for you. So all these measures we will have to promote the development of application and the deployment of Gen AI-based solution built in Europe, made in Europe, in the critical sector we have in Europe. And in addition to that, we will continue supporting activities to provide access to data, good quality data, algorithm development with our research and innovation program, investment, including with EIC, skills development with Digital Europe program, but EIT has also some programs, so we have to explore all the capabilities we have and make sure they complement each other and reinforce each other. And as you know, all this also depends on processors on which the HPC machine are done. So the longer term perspective is also to reinforce our capacities in developing processor also in Europe. So in addition to these different aspects, we have the AI office, which will be in charge of coordinating all the activities in Europe. And one of the main activities they have to do is to implement the AI Act and support the whole ecosystem to develop the AI Act in providing testing and so on. But they will also help to coordinate activities within the Commission and support as well the innovation. Plus, in terms of governance, they will also coordinate and make sure Europe is well represented at international level and promoting or as well a human-centric way of developing and deploying AI. In addition to that, in the package, there were two edicts, European Digital Infrastructure Consortium. These are multi-country projects, and the ones which are directly related to AI and Gen AI are the one on language technologies. So the Alliance of Language Technologies goes ALTEDIC. They will have two aspects. One is collecting data coming from all the member states to make sure that we can build strong European models on it. And they will also support the development of further application based on making available different existing large language model on which then all application can be developed. The Cityverse edict, it's put under the Gen AI for you because it provides an environment in which application can be developed in the context of smart cities. So going back a bit into the detail of the AI factories, so the Euro HPC machines are super powerful, but at the moment they are not fully, let's say, usable as such or optimized, let's say, for the development of large AI models. This is why then there has been it's almost there the amendment of the regulation of the Euro HPC in order to make sure that part of them are dedicated for AI and facilitate the access of AI developers on these machines. So there will be a number of measures to build around these Euro HPC machine. So to make sure first that they are oriented to AI, and then connect them to the necessary competencies, such as the facilities, such as the data center. So you need to have a close connection between the compute and the data. You have to make sure that you have the right talent and competence, and because it's not straightforward to bring your AI algorithm on this machine. Therefore, you need really to support the developers to do that. And so there will be also this programming facility to facilitate that, making sure you have the right skills around, let's say, again, at the interface between AI and the HPC programming. And finally, there will be also a number of services to access AI HPC machines, because the access policy at the moment is not tuned for the need of training such models. And in addition, then, so this is the AI factory to build the model, but they need to be connected to the rest of the AI ecosystem. And over the years, we have been developing a number of tools such as the testing and experimentation facilities, the AI on-demand platform, the networks of excellence center, and the partnership AI data and robotics. And this is my opportunity now to just remind you, if you are not yet aware of this partnership. So this partnership on AI data and robotics is the representative of the community in the AI data and robotics. So it's our privileged interlocutor to give priority of our funding in the Horizon Europe program. So if you're not yet a member, or if the SMEs and the companies you represent are not yet a member, I would strongly encourage you to become part of it, because it is for you also a possibility to influence the funding priorities for the Horizon Europe program, which is our largest investment program. So just keep that in mind. So once we have put the condition to develop the model, so then we have the Gen AI for EU initiative, which is there to really stimulate the uptake of generative AI, because we see that in all our strategic sectors, we see that this technology is going to make a difference, and we see already a proof of concept testing ongoing, and any prototype ongoing, many publications showing that there is a huge potential. So we cannot afford to let our strategic industry to miss this train, because then they risk to lose their competitive edge. So we want to equip them with the latest tool in AI to stay competitive. And what we see at the moment, so all our big industry, they publish things. Yes, we are testing, we are trying Gen AI, but every single time it is with non-European big companies. And what we want to do, we want to make sure that we can offer them with a competitive offer made in Europe. This is why we need you, and we also will support the community to develop those solutions in Europe. So we will bring the developer of and the startup and innovators, build a community with the industry, the user industry, and try to build ecosystem around them to make sure that they have access to the data, to the computing research, the algorithm, the talent, to develop those applications made in Europe for the European sectors. And in the communication, we have highlighted a number of specific use cases which already demonstrate the potential demonstrated of this technology in the various sectors. And in most of the case, we really try to explain which SMEs have already done some progress in adapting this technology or using this technology in their sectors. And some sectors are very key for Europe, such as robotics, healthcare, and manufacturing, mobility, cybersecurity, of course, agri-food, and so on. So we see there a big potential, both for the developers, the innovators, which are mostly startup and SMEs. So we really want to help them, but we need to connect them to the user community, which can be big companies or also small companies. So this is where we think we can help in creating this networks and community, and we hope we can also count on you to make it happen and bring the right competencies together. So in the communication, we refer as well to the 14 strategic industrial ecosystem that comes from the DG Grow initiative. And then we will also work with them to do some matchmaking and some, again, to highlight the potential and the developers we have in Europe that can offer solution to those different application sectors. So here again, this is where we can work with you and bring the different stakeholders together. So here it's just to give some illustrative example on how this technology can really help. And this is based on the fact, but you know them as your AI developers, that this is quite simple and revolutionary at the same time. The way these systems are trained, like you show them information, data, and the easiest way is you show them tons of sentences, you cut part of the sentence, and then in showing many examples, the system learns how to fill the gap, how to guess what is the text that you have removed. And it's in training with tons of those examples that the system actually learn the structure of the data, the information you have provided. And in learning these structure, they can reproduce them. And they can do it also within languages. So this is why they can generate sentence, but also among different modality. This is why when you ask the system to generate a video, then they can do it because they have learned this mapping between different modalities. And when you extrapolate that, this technology is very useful to generate images that have a certain structure. Then they can also be very useful in detecting anomalies. And this is, for instance, in the case of medical images and diagnostic, they can really support the doctors in identify anomalies in image. In drug discovery and development, this is also super useful because such as the system can generate sequences of words, they can also generate sequences of molecules if they have been trained with the language of molecules, if you want. So same thing, it has been demonstrated that it can generate very useful sequences of molecules that can have some properties of characteristics. So again, a lot of times have been again in generating good sequences for drug discoveries, decreasing substantially the time to develop drugs. A more mundane application is healthcare assistant, where LLMs, large language model, can generate reports based on different source of information, so that this should also facilitate the workflow, summarization, also gathering different source of information, presenting it in a way which is digestible and useful, easy to use. So this is where also LLM can use and facilitate the whole workflow in the healthcare system. And a last example is personalized medicine. Again, here you can use many different sources of information, such as the different blood information, imagery, previous records from this person, previous medical report, and also the whole set of information about medical theory. And then you can, of course, then generate a really more personalized treatment for this person, or personalized medicine development as well. So this is the most rich application where you can really illustrate how the technology can be used. I will go very quickly now about on completely different type of activities. You can also, with Earth observation, train models that will help you really do better forecasting, so generate what will be the future step in weather, and could also detect some anomalies, detect future extreme weather event when they will come. So based again on learning those structure and the evolution of the system. Another field of application which is extremely important for Europe, especially given that Europe is quite strong in robotics and we need to keep this lead, otherwise we might lose it. Same for manufacturing. We don't want to lose more manufacturing capabilities in Europe. Here again, generative AI can really help improving, in the case of robotics, the autonomous level of robotics. So they can enhance human-robot interaction in anticipating what kind of outcome will come from interaction. They can also optimize the design even of the robot based on the necessary capabilities the robot are expected to have, or also in the training of robots. They can facilitate the training of the robot, and also in training in difficult environments, such as if you have to learn in a critical environment, such as in a power plant, or in a manufactory where it's not so easy to get access to. Otherwise, it's very expensive, or in a nuclear plant or so. Then you could generate some simulated image, and then based on that, you can accelerate the training in generating a very different set of scenarios for this training. Manufacturing, same thing. It's very difficult to train a system because you don't want to stop the plant. Therefore, they can generate, simulate environment, and then it would hopefully then allow to simulate different scenarios, and with that way then also optimize processes, because you can test different inputs, and then also optimize in terms of input, output, but also on waste reduction. So optimization is something this system can be really helpful for. In the case of cybersecurity, very similar thing than in medical, detecting anomalies. In this case, it means a threat. Test really the system with many. You can generate fake attacks and then improve your system so that it becomes more robust to attack. You can identify vulnerability in that way. You can also detect some very sophisticated phishing system that can attack your emails or your system. And the same thing, they can really also help the cybersecurity expert in providing reports based on the tons of information they have to digest and analyze. So again, a lot of application. What we have to be super careful in this specific case is that GenAI is a very powerful tool to support the progress in cybersecurity, but they are also used by the attackers to attack the system in an autonomous, automatic way. So this can generate very powerful attacks. So we have to make sure that we are faster in progressing in security than in the attack. So here are the different activity we do to support the development of algorithm. We had a large AI grant challenge to give a prize and access to computer to startup. The result will be announced mid-May. We have for the moment an open call to develop an LLM for a train on European languages, because at the moment a lot of the available system are trained in English and then translating in our languages, and we want really to provide to European developers open source LLM, so that after then all the innovators can build solution on those ones. And then in terms of research, we have calls for proposal to prepare the next generation of model, either be multimodal input or then innovative also modalities such as Earth observation, or combining modalities, robotics data as well, sensing data, or also combination of those. And then we also want to foster innovative learning approach in our next system. We have the Altedic I mentioned already. The testing experimentation facilities are already ongoing. They provide an environment where you can test your technologies, and the environment reproduce very close or real environment where you can test AI system in a robust manner and at scale. And we will have another set of measures to support the SME regarding the regulation. So there will be regulatory sandboxes supported by our program, and testing tool development as well in our program. And then we have the EIC accelerator and InvestEU to on financial instrument. Data access, I mentioned already, the European data spaces, and we have them in many different sectors, and we will make them available to the developers. So hopefully that will also foster the development of European solution. Yeah, here it's the way we work in defining our funding priorities. So as I say, we start with the PPP, so the partnership, AI, data, and robotics. From them, we extract our priorities that define a strategic research innovation agenda. On this priority, from this priority, we have called for proposal. We select a research and innovation project. In addition, we have the networks of excellence centers bringing the best researcher to advance in science. The AI on demand platform is there to provide an environment to collaborate for the research part, but also to provide all the necessary resources to develop AI solution. And in the context of Digital Europe program, they are starting to develop now a marketplace where all developers should also make available their products, not necessarily for free. And but at least they want to have European visibility. Testing and experimentation, I already mentioned. We have them in agri-food, healthcare, manufacturing, and smart city and community. And last but not least, the European digital innovation hubs. They are really the last mile delivery, where they bring the tested development and application towards the market in distributing them locally at regional level. So here it was just to say what are our open calls. So we have for the moment the different calls. So when the generative AI wave came, then we adapted all our programs. And then we have one call in Horizon Europe. So from more basic research towards more higher TRL. So in terms of Horizon Europe, so more research part, we are preparing the next generation of AI models in, as I said, integrating new modalities and expanding the capabilities of current system. The budget has been increased a little bit. And then we have also explainable and robust AI. I mentioned that there are some limitations to those systems. So we want to continue the research to make sure that we address these limitations in terms of robustness and also in terms of explainability. So here it's actually 15 million and 50 million. So because the figures have been updated. Now, in the Digital Europe program, we have an open call with two parts. One to support the Altedic I mentioned before, and the second one is to develop this high-performing open source European foundation model addressing all the European languages. So it's also important for the startup and SMEs in the different regions to have access to these multimodal models as well for them to develop their application. And finally, the EIC accelerator, we have 50 million there. And it's again to support the startup and SMEs, either developing frontier model or providing tool to develop frontier models. And there has already been one cutoff date in February. The next one is in September. And here, it's the last part of the presentation, just to say what do we have for the moment. And this is where you could also help us to identify where are our developers and make them visible as well at European level. So we worked with Applied AI, who they had done already a landscape of AI, and we asked them to look a bit into that and see which of them are actually Gen AI. And basically, from their findings, about 1/10 of each AI startup is working on Gen AI. And this is already old. It's about 6 months old, this kind of data. I'm pretty sure that now the figure is much higher. And we also wanted to see what is the repartition in terms of sector, application sector covered by those startups. And here you see quite a good distribution among our key sectors in Europe, from medtech to energy, manufacturing, agriculture, transportation and mobility. So this is important to have this mapping, and we'd like to reinforce it and make sure that we have a comprehensive view about our developing capacity in Europe, so that we can also support all the activities I mentioned before. So thanks a lot for your attention. I hope you found it interesting, and happy to answer to your questions.
Thank you so much, Cécile, for this very comprehensive and interesting presentation. I have some comments myself, but I see there is a hand raised already from one of your colleagues in the Commission. So I would like to give the opportunity to take questions from the floor indeed, and I will start with Hugh Beckhardt from the European Commission. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, but I didn't raise my hand actually, so it's
all right.
It's a mistake. Sorry.
All right, then no problem, and welcome to the meeting. I guess instead Alex Alexander wanted to intervene. Alex, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much, and Cecilia, thank you very much for the very comprehensive update. You briefly mentioned the notion of some kind of marketplace for Gen AI products, and I'm pleased to say that you said that not for free. Could you expand on that one? What is the timetable for it? What kind of Gen AI, both in terms of sectors or segments that you mentioned? That would be good to just know a rough plan.
Okay, so this is part of the AI on Demand platform, which initially was developed in the context of Horizon Europe to develop the community around it and share algorithm and resource and support the researcher to develop. But then under Digital Europe, we have launched a call for the extension of that towards more the industry and the application, and the project has started in January this year. So and what they have in the moment, so initially it was, when we called for it, it was before the wave of Gen AI, but then they quickly adapted, and now they have, I know already, some support to make available already existing model for fine tuning. And later on, so once the project will develop, so for the moment the project has been launched, but the platform is very much at the beginning to make sure that it adapts to the needs of the industry. Then the goal is really to have a place where developers could put on the platform all the tools they develop, and then also make them available for the market and offer visibility. Hopefully the platform will bring the visibility at a higher level, at European level. Now, when it comes to the type of product, there is no limitation. So the richer the offer, the better. And what we have to make sure though, it's that, and this is a process they will have to put in place, it's in their plan, to make sure that the development, the algorithm which are put on the platform are trustworthy and of good quality. So this will be also part of the development of the platform, to make sure that when you buy something on the platform, or some of them might be open source as well, they can be trusted, and that would be an added value of having this European platform. And another aspect I would see from the platform is to develop communities around the platform, and this is something we are going to push further. It already started with our projects, but we'd like to reinforce that dimension, because it could also be a very good place where the European networks can develop, and hopefully also the economic impact also could be leveraged. I mean, this platform could be leveraged to create more added value for the SMEs and so on.
Thank you very much. If there's any details, a link to where I can get more information, that would be super helpful. Thank you so much.
Good. I'll put it in the chat. AIOD, it's called.
Thank you to both for this discussion. I keep the floor open in case there are more questions for Cécile. And in the meantime, I would also like to ask you a couple of follow-ups, Cécile, because you mentioned that there is a plan to make sure that generative AI can be used in the different 14 industrial ecosystems. And you are in talks with your colleagues from DG Grow to implement this. Even there, of course, our community, both from digital SME and the IT digital, can support this. And in particular, speaking for ourselves at Digital SME, we have created a matchmaking platform that indeed brings together SMEs that either can be suppliers of digital solutions, including generative AI ones, and SMEs that are buyers of digital solutions that are looking for these solutions to digitize their business. So we are happy to, support this initiative, even in the specific area of generative AI, in order to make sure that across different sectors, we are able to deploy all the potential of this technology to digitize the different industries. And you mentioned healthcare as one of the most visible areas of impact of generative AI. And indeed, we have also a similar initiative as for the focus group AI. We have a focus group on e-health that we just launched in March, acknowledging that in our community of SME innovators, we have a wide range of companies that are developing solutions that can serve that sector, that can enhance the sustainability and the resilience of health systems that we know how much have been, hit by the COVID pandemic. So even more digitalization proves to be a solution for sectors that want to become more resilient in the future. But of course, we will keep following very closely the deployment of the AI innovation package initiative and all its components. And we are also happy to continue to work together as we discussed in preparation for this call to indeed create together a community of innovators that can make the EU policy objectives on generative AI become reality, and most importantly, that can make Europe become a leader on generative AI, especially across the different cutting-edge digital technologies.
Definitely, I hope we can, indeed collaborate on that gradually on the future and create a community, and also linking to different dimensions such as the research, the skills, and also the larger industries and the including the investor, either corporate investment or other type of investor. But I think, if we bring all these elements together, we can really make a difference. We need to really join forces to avoid this fragmentation and also increase the visibility of individual actors, or when we need to really join forces to share resources so that could benefit everyone, then this is where hopefully we can add value to the community.
Thanks a lot, Cécile. I'm also looking at the questions in the chat, and I see one from Mihaela Popescu regarding the development of digital skills and the AI talent pool. Mihaela is asking if you can give a few examples of what is included into this initiative.
Right. So we are at the moment developing calls for under Digital Europe program where we want to complement existing initiative, but there are already initiative existing in EIT Digital. You also have initiative on skills, but we want to complement and see which additional things need to be done either in the formal training, whether modules need to be added either on the IT side, on the engineering side, or then on the more sector side, like in the medical field or in any application field, where their modules should be added in order to equip this professional with the right complementary skill to equip them with the right tools. And then we have to do another set of initiative where we need to link it also to the industry and see which kind of mechanism which would be efficient both to help fueling both going in two directions from industry, bring that knowledge and the needs to the education, and vice versa. See also how the researchers can be connected to the industry in doing internship or something to connect to the industry, with a view also of retaining talent, and so providing with the right let's say environment where they can develop the technology. And because you have salaries, but not only salaries, you need to have a good environment to develop your technology. So having access to the right resources is also something super important for the researchers, and this is why some of them go abroad, because they have the right computer. They don't have to fight to have access to computer, to data. They have everything at end, and then having to working on an interesting product or goal, then this is also something that can be attractive for talent. So we are developing all the different types of tools, trying to take into account all the different needs and what can be interesting to keep the talents. But it's in the making, it's for the future programs of Digital Europe program. What we have to see is with existing tools, what can already be leveraged at the moment.
All right, thank you very much for your feedback. I see Orestes would like to raise a point.
Very quickly, Cecile already somehow gave me the floor. Indeed, the EIT and the EIT Digital, as the most relevant to AI, offer access to talent services and educational programs. I shared some links in the chat. So, Michaela, please, I will encourage you to take a look at them. And if you have more questions, we're happy to have a meeting to give you more feedback on this very quickly.
Thank you, Orestes. And then I know indeed, Cecile, you have to leave in a few minutes. So I promise this is the last question we have for you. And indeed, it's another one from the chat from Tudor Pitulak, who is representing an IT SME from Ireland, and is asking whether there could be any solution to overcome some type of obstacles that could be facing SMEs when accessing R&D opportunities and support even as offered by the European Digital Innovation Hubs. Tudor is saying that there could be some difficulties in accessing relevant funding and European Digital Innovation Hubs support. Do you have any experience with this type of issues, and do you have any suggestion on how we could collaborate on this? I mean, we know at the Digital SME Alliance, for instance, that European Digital Innovation Hub can be very helpful as intermediary in putting together the digital SMEs and those SMEs that demand their services. And indeed, we have as well European Digital Innovation Hub in our community at Digital SME. Indeed, we are working to make their services and their support even more visible and accessible to SMEs. So this is my take on this question. But I don't know if you have any other suggestion on how we can work together in this ecosystem even better than we are doing right now.
What I can tell is we work as well with the EDI, Digital Innovation Hubs, to make them aware about the other tools that we have, such as the AI on Demand platform and the testing and experimentation facilities, to make sure that even the developers have access to the central resources they can benefit from, and hopefully in reinforcing the ecosystems, also linking to the biggest industry and the users, then we can further reinforce that. One thing is AI is becoming more and more important, and the European Digital Innovation Hub, most of them already have some AI capability, and this is something we want to also foster and reinforce. So they have also working group on those different subjects, and definitely this AI dimension in the European Digital Innovation Hub is something that is going to be reinforced over time. And one local European Digital Innovation Hub does not have this specific in-depth capability or expertise on a field, then they are always connected to other, and then they can also reach out and making sure that you don't necessarily have this in-depth expertise in using I don't know, Gen AI in agri-food, but another one might have it. So this networking is a rich addition that they can leverage in terms of being part of the network.
All right, then indeed another area of collaboration that we are more than happy to support, and thank you very much. I know indeed that you will likely have to leave, but let me indeed take the opportunity once again to thank you for joining us today and to take the time to speak to our community. I believe this can be only the starting point of a collaboration that we would like to keep ongoing and even reinforce in the upcoming months. And I'm sure there will be plenty of opportunities for you to come back to this community and continue to discuss how innovative SMEs can bring their services towards the direction and vision that we all agree upon, that is to make Europe a leader of a developer of these technologies.
Very good. Thank you so much again. And I will really miss your success story. So please do share it with me after. And I hope we can then have a space where we can share and show to the outside world all these success stories to, again, make more visible what we do and be proud of what we do, and hopefully also foster the economic growth in this domain. Thank you so much again, and a lot of success to all your initiative. We'll keep in touch. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. And indeed, going on with our program, I would like then to give the floor to my colleague Loredana Buxeneanu, project manager at Digital SME, and she will present open calls under the Digital Europe program, one that was mentioned by the European Commission. Over to you, Loredana.
Thank you, Antonio. Indeed, Cecile already mentioned some of the calls that I wanted to share with you today. So indeed, I would like to share very briefly about the calls for proposals that are currently open under the Digital Euro program. As you know, the Digital Euro program aims to reinforce EU's critical capacities by focusing on key areas of artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, advanced computing, data infrastructure, governance and processing, and the deployment and use of these technologies for critical sectors. So when it comes to AI, the funding available in 2024 focuses on developing a strong ecosystem that facilitates faster adoption and wide usage of AI by businesses, with some calls directed specifically at digital SMEs. So considering the latest advances in AI, and particularly generative AI, what Cecile mentioned earlier as well, there's funding specifically earmarked for building an EU-wide digital infrastructure for AI foundation models for language technologies by means of an alliance for language technologies and an open source language foundation model. The project proposals should focus on local communities through the development of different layers of VR and AR worlds for communities and moving towards an ecosystem of networked local digital twins across the EU. Moreover, the 2024 work program has a specific focus on AI in health sector through a platform for advanced virtual human twin, pathways for AI in healthcare, and AI in support of quantum enhanced metabolic magnetic resonance imaging systems. So these industry-oriented actions are complemented by supporting the preparation and compliance with the forthcoming AI Act through an innovation accelerator, an EU database on standalone high-risk AI systems, and innovation regulatory and testing mechanisms, the regulatory sandboxes and the union testing facilities. So I will keep this presentation short. I will close it here. If you want more information on individual topics, descriptions, the budget for each call for proposal, and the conditions to participate, they are all available on the EU funding and tenders portal. I will share the link here in the chat. And if you would like to follow up on any of the calls, please feel free to get in touch with me. We will share also our email addresses after the presentation.
Thank you very much, Loredana. I'm looking at the floor in case there is any immediate question. Otherwise, in the interest of time, I will then give the floor to Dennis Krizar, Accelerator Manager at the EIT Digital. Dennis, the floor is yours.
Hey guys, thank you so much. My name is Dénes Csiszár, and I'm working as an acceleration manager for EIT Digital, and I'm gonna give you, some weird error message here. Hold on, I'm trying to do my best so I can share my screen, but I only see error messages. Okay, share. Bear with me for a sec. I'm gonna relog in, of course.
It's the trick of digital technologies sometimes.
Yeah, bear with me for 30.
Okay, it happens. Technology is good only when it is working.
Indeed.
And I found these moments very, very funny and very ironic, especially when we were discussing on AI. Sometimes we're struggling to, to share or to log in. I was also found it was really hard for me to log in the Zoom for some reason. Perfect.
Okie dokie, let me.
Perfect.
Okay, so I assume you can see my shared screen.
Indeed. Thank you, Dennis.
All right, technology works. Okay, so I trust that Orestis, my colleague, has already introduced you EIT Digital in one of the previous presentations or sessions, but just to give you a heads up, so EIT Digital is a pan-European organization that actually creates digital ecosystems all across Europe. So we have our master school with 3,500 alumni students who have studied for 2 years with us, and they received a double degree. We are in partnership with 60 universities. Some other numbers, we have 23 offices throughout Europe, a hub in Silicon Valley. We have 350 partners. Actually, we have financially supported more than 300 startups. and our investor network is about 1,000 venture capitalist angel associations and family offices in Europe. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is actually the acceleration part of EIT Digital, which is the business unit or pillar, as we call it, which caters startups and SMEs using these three or actually 4 programs. So before delving into that, so as per the current strategic areas, EIT Digital is allowed to help. This is the 5. So we have digital tech, digital cities, digital industry, digital well-being, and digital finance. And what connects them all is of course AI. So most of the companies that go and pitch for or to us for funding or for help nowadays is using AI for this or that. Some more, some less, but nearly all of the startups are, or SMEs in a way, are working with AI. And I've heard the word EDIH, the European Digital Innovation Hub. So EIT Digital is member in 7 of those projects, consortium member, and we are leading the one in Hungary, which is the Digital Tech EDIH project. So the first program I'm going to talk to you about is called the Venture Incubation Program. The Venture Incubation Program is a program that allows entrepreneurs to take their prototype to market. So we are running this program in 2024 in 24 countries with the help of incubation partners. We have more than 270 ventures created this way. We are financially supporting these startups, but not only financially, but we give them training, mentoring through our incubation partners, because this is a program we are not running ourselves. We are running it through incubation partners. So where are we doing it? We are doing it in these countries, and these are the partners. Sweden is currently pending, so that's why I didn't include that. But it's coming as well. So as you can see, we are running it in most of the countries with our awesome partners. There are some partners who take care of more than one country, of course, but there are partners who are only present in a single country. So the end result of this program is a fully funded startup with a small ticket of 25K financial support from EIT Digital, a benefits of a 10-12 long incubation program, and some connections in the corporate and in the venture capital world. As a next stage, for those companies or innovators or intrapreneurs or entrepreneurs who would like to up their game, we offer 2 sets of trainings. One is called the Speedmaster, which the next edition is starting on the 10th of September. So if you get to eitdigital.eu/speedmaster, you will be able to see the curriculum. It's I used to call it like a startup MBA. It's 12 weeks. It's a 2-hour commitment on every Tuesday with these modules. So there is management, strategy, biz dev, and access to finance. And with this, we really help entrepreneurs to up their game and to cover the blind spots or missing spots they have. But not only entrepreneurs, but I'm going to talk about that later. And we also have a Generative AI Essentials course, which has 4 modules. The program starts actually pretty soon, so in about a month, and it has some awesome speakers. All of the 4 modules is year of progression, unlocking generative AI's application and impact, AI's role in project planning, marketing transformation, and AI-enabled cyber threats. These are the 4 topics, all of them 2 hours long. So I urge you to check out this website and select if this training is for you. We have some top-notch speakers lined up. And who are these training for? Either early-stage startup spin-off, or I should say budding entrepreneurs to level up their game, to enhance their management skills, to utilize AI, and to network. So in these trainings, about 30-ish SMEs used to be present, and some corporates as well. And it's a nice place to get to know each other and to do some networking. But we also recommend this to intrapreneurs. So not only SMEs, but innovation colleagues working within larger organization, be that academia or corporate, because it gives them, the Speedmaster, a glimpse into the entrepreneurial mindset, whereas the AI course will give them options to utilize AI. And as a next step to this, of course, it's not mandatory to complete, but the next step for this is EIT Digital's Open Innovation Factory. I'm a huge believer in open innovation, which is, a distributed innovation process, not only within the company as a closed, super secret, something that might or might not have a result. It's an open process with the participation of external parties plus internal parties. It has many ways of doing it, but the way EIT Digital is supporting it is actually de-risking the entire open innovation process between corporates and startups, academia and SMEs, multiple startups, and so on and so forth. So we provide financial support for these companies in exchange for equity. We enroll them in a 6-month program during which they get mentoring, training, coaching. By the way, the Speedmaster training series is free of charge and also mandatory for the companies participating in the Open Innovation Factory. We have supported about 70, 60 companies so far, and we have some really cool successes here. Some startups who became large and some corporates who could cover their innovation challenges through these startups. So what are we giving besides the funding? Like I said, essentially, we are de-risking the cooperation between the corners of the knowledge triangle. Of course, you get the EIT Digital stamp on you. We give you access to our ecosystem. If you remember my first slide, we have more than 300 corporates, 50 universities, and a bunch of other players under our umbrella. We also provide access to talent. So should these companies need an extra CTO or COO, they can tap into our talent program. We are providing them visibility. And like I said, we are providing them training and mentoring. And this is really what I wanted to say as a quick summary. So if you have any further questions, just don't hesitate to reach out to this email address. And while we are doing that, I'm open to some questions, should there be any.
Thank you very much, Dennis, for this interesting presentation. Unless there is any immediate question, I'm gonna check the chat indeed. So there is Damiano Avellino who asks if a startup is also in another grant. Is it possible to apply to this program? Dennis, I guess you can address this.
Yes, the short answer is yes.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. And indeed, in the interest of time, I will then suggest that we move on with the next point on the agenda. Thanks again, Dennis. And I'm gonna then give the floor to the actual innovators, SME innovators, and I'm gonna start with Alex Alexander from Scoot. I know, Alex, you have prepared a very interesting presentation, so I give the floor to you to start with this session on generative AI uptake by SMEs.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Very well, yes.
Okay, and can you see my screen?
Yes, I just ask you to put it in full.
Yeah. Yeah, so Can you see it now in full?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay. Just as context, well, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Alex Alexander. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Zoots, which, as Antonio mentioned, and we are a native generative AI startup. So that's all we work on, generative AI. And in terms of context for what I'm going to tell you about the product that we have developed, is to solve really bottleneck for digitization for SMEs. Often is access to talent, assessing talent, and of course training talent in whatever skills, and of course with focus on generative AI. So we have built a generative AI powered skills assessment and learning platform with three areas to focus on. I start on the slide in the center. First part is InterviewX. Is how to assess talents at much faster pace, so 100 more talents that you can assess at the fraction of the time that normally you would take to assess or interview talent using generative AI. What is key about our product that it provides a detailed transcript, it provides a trust score because the interview is done by generative AI, not a human. But it's less biased than human. Often people talk about AI being biased. The way that we have designed it, it's less biased than human beings, and it's more transparent and actually provides a more engaging way of interviewing and assessment for talent. If we move to the right-hand side, TalentX, we use the same platform, InterviewX, to find top talents across Europe and also globally, and effectively addressing the talent gap that many companies have in order to actually work on generative AI, or in fact any other digitization initiative. And in some ways you could say that this part of our initiative or platform is a social initiatives, because we first start with regions in Europe which are so underprivileged regions. Maybe I could mention south of Italy, or regions of former Eastern Europe, to find top talent where we know that there are very experienced top talent for companies to have access to. And last but not least, AcademyX, how to train top talent. Again, we use generative AI to provide a personalized and very dynamic and adaptive way to train talent. It's very different to traditional learning because we use generative AI to do that. And of course, if you go back to InterviewX, we already know the skills, the strength and weakness of the talent, so we can actually tailor and personalize the learning based on their skills. And the initial feedback that we've had is that overall, InterviewX, TalentX, and AcademyX saves cost and increased learning success rate for our clients. If I could just go through the second slide, which just explains how our platform operates. Effectively, we capture as input some personal details, which are email, resume, and a picture. We then obviously identify the roles and the skills that are to be assessed. And then the generative AI assessment can assess hard and soft skills, and the candidates, the individual, can answer the questions in 26 different languages. So that's the flexibility that it offers. And we use our generative AI algorithms, and the questions that we ask, whilst the initial set of questions that we have developed are technology-based questions, just because we're all technologies. I'm a former CTO for a number of global brands. But that's just one use case. The questions can be tailored to any domain, both hard questions and also soft skills questions. And a good example of it is that Bologna University. Bologna is where the company is based, and Bologna University, for everybody's knowledge, is Europe's oldest university. What we're doing with Bologna University, that they want to use it only for soft skills assessments, because they see the soft skills as a success criteria for many roles, and they are want to use our platform for assessing 41 soft skills that they have developed in conjunction with a European-led project. So what we produce as an output is a detailed transcripts and scores for each questions. We produce a trust score because, as I said, there is no human involved in the interview or assessment. The person is presented with questions by generative AI. So we want to make sure that the person does not cheat and there is no sign of cheating. So we have a trust score. And finally, based on the assessment scores, we produce a personalized learning for the individual. So in summary, generative AI is adaptive, personalized, and a force multiplier for really upskilling. And our focus is upskilling. So just, I think just going to the last slide. Okay.
We cannot hear the video, at least from our end, Alex.
So you can't hear?
We cannot hear it.
Okay. 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 So I will explain that. So can you actually see the slides?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but you cannot hear the. So this is.
Yeah, we are happy to send it in the follow-up to the participants so they can have it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, we'll do that because it's an AI avatar explainer which shows how the platform works. But if obviously in the interest of time, I'm not going to demo the product myself. But as you can see, our contact details, and I put also my contact details in the link as well, in the chat as well. Feel free to reach out, and I'm very happy to provide a personal demo of the product and explain that further. So with that said, I'm going to hand back to you, Antonio, and I'm going to stop sharing. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alex, for presenting a very concrete application and helpful application of generative AI from an SME business perspective. So thank you so much. And then I will hand over to Giovanni Tardini, CEO of Symbolic, who will show us another very cutting-edge application of generative AI from an SME perspective. Giovanni, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Antonio, and thanks everybody for the occasion. You can hear? You can hear me?
Yes, very well.
Sorry, because I had some... Great. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, because we joined the Digital SME Alliance this month. So it's very nice to be able to, share our experience on the market, in this case, Italian market. With you and to start to be actively part of this community. I will try and share my screen. Okay, you should be seeing. Great. So I'm the CEO and founder of Symbolic, which is an Italian-based company. We are based in Sassuolo, which probably many of you don't know, but it's a town actually close to Bologna, closer to Modena, but also close to Bologna, where Alex has the base of his company. So it's going to be nice to meet. And we are a 3-year-old company. And what we do is basically developing and deploying generative AI projects and applications for our customers. Sorry. Okay. In order to do that, we started our journey, as I was saying, basically 3 years ago. So before the generative AI wave, tsunami, as was before being correctly said. And we had started developing a platform, which then turned into Persona, which is our current, let's say, main product. And then I will explain how we use that product, both in terms of direct sales of the product and also as an internal tool to support our own developments. Since probably this is maybe a specificity of the Italian market that I'm not entirely sure, but usually companies in Italy really want and need many customizations. So one of the needs that we had was to have, let's say, a flexible technological platform that could be adapted to the specific use case of the customer. And in the process of doing so, we also developed products which we basically propose on the market as software as a service. But Persona, which is the main focus of my brief intervention today, is the platform on top of which we base all our developments and also our products. The goal of Persona is, as the slide says, to bring generative AI to companies. Usually the customer in these let's say, very fast-paced times, sometimes not even the customer really has clear what he or she wants for their own company. And the desire is more like, I want to introduce generative AI technology in order not to lag behind, but they don't really have the use case clear in mind. Persona is in a way an accelerator of that generative AI introduction in the company. So let's say a bit more about the platform that we have built. Basically, the platform, I don't know if you are familiar with like commercial products such as custom GPTs from OpenAI or similar products. Well, the platform in its, let's say, basic form is custom GPTs for B2B, so for businesses. And the starting process for using the platform, of which you can see some screenshots in the right part of the slides, is basically composed of 4 steps. The first one is to connect the data of the company to the platform. And this happens via the development of our own connectors, which properly handle the data, of course, also in terms of security and privacy, to bring the data from the source of the company to the destination, in this case, of the platform, so that generative AI models can be used on the data of the customer. So first step is connecting the data. Second step is connecting and is actually choosing the AI model that is the best fit for the customer use case. We support all the commercial models, so let's say the closed source models, but we also support all the open models, and we have several use cases where we have used open source models such as Mistral, to name a French example, or Llama 2 or Llama 3. Here the screenshot is already outdated because we support also Llama 3 now. But the idea is also to propose the platform in a way that reduces the risk, let's say the technological risk of the customer in a scenario, in a landscape where everything, especially on the technological side of things, is moving and shifting so fast. So one of our propositions is that if you choose our platform to implement your generative AI use cases as a customer, you are not risking to, let's say, make the wrong marriage in terms of technology providers, and you are always able to switch to either an open model or a different commercial model, and hopefully more performing than the one which was being used before. So we connect the data, we pick the model that we want to use, open source models included, and then we explain to the AI. I will not bore you with all the possible knobs and the settings for the AI model to configure the behavior. But then once we have chosen the model, we can tell the model how it should reason and think or automate actions related to the data of the customers. Of course, the connection is not only towards the data sources of the customer, but also towards the IT systems of the customer, so that the platform can also act as a basis for automating the customer processes. So once we have chosen the model, we explain the model how it should reason or automate the customer process. And again, we do that via natural language. with the the prompting aspect of the platform, which allows to create a system prompt, which is basically the main instruction that the model will follow in the interaction with the final user. And the final step is to actually interact with the model that we have configured and connected to our own data. Here you can see a screenshot of the default chat interface of the platform, because this is the usual interaction with which the user has got used to with the ChatGPT and the most famous generative AI platforms. But the platform in itself does not only offer a chat interface, but it can be integrated in all the workflows of the customer. So like custom front-end interfaces can be developed that go beyond the chat, or we can also think of the platform as let's say just a technological piece that automates processes that are connected to either pre-existing software of the customer or to workflow orchestration systems that want to benefit from generative AI capabilities. So basically, we have embedded inside the platform everything which is needed to start experimenting and using AI in both regulatory compliant terms, and also in with all the data management settings set to the right level of privacy, which is needed to be applied on the customer data. Now, I just wanted to give you a very brief, let's say, overview of how we approach the market, actually, in terms of products and services. Before, I was saying that the platform, that persona that you have just seen the screenshot of, is the basis of all our developments. And this is basically what this slide represents. You can ignore all the part to the right, the fully custom application and AI training for companies and institutions, which are services that we provide. But now I really want to focus on the let's say platform-enabled go-to-market that we are following. So here you can see on in the part below persona, the persona rectangle, the models that we support. So here are just some of them. But basically, as I was saying, we have support for commercial models and also for open models. And actually, we can't wait to start integrating the models which will, let's say, the European-made AI models. This is something that we really want to include inside Persona, so that customers can quickly start experimenting with the models that hopefully in the future will be released with more frequency than what's happening now. So Persona is the technological platform behind all our developments. During these 3 years, we have developed 3 actual software as a service products, which cover one, the automated help desk part. So we have, let's say, a verticalization of the platform, which automates all the help desk and customer service processes. We have another product based on Persona, which helps legal professionals to draft and analyze documents, for instance, to create a contract and compare it with the national law. And another one which allows the customer to generate content in terms of actually generate content aligned to their brand and to their tone of voice. This is something that we have been asked a lot by the market, and that we have created a product as a personalization of our platform. Then, alongside these 3 products that I've just told you, we have basically open the API of Persona, so the technology of Persona, to the customer, which can in turn, if they have, for instance, a development team internally, they can build their own generative AI application using the functionalities which are already embedded into the Persona platform, and so that they don't have to develop them again from scratch or using some lower level provider API, such as the OpenAI ones or similar. Then, as I was saying, let's say the combination of products and services in our go-to-market is exemplified by this red square here, because when the customer asks something which does not fall into this, let's say, ready turnkey products. We have our own development team. We are a company of 12 people, very technical and skilled. We basically all come from an AI consultancy background for the last 10, 12 years. So we are able to adapt and use Persona as an internal accelerator to adapt the platform to the customer use case and release it to the customer. I just want to close.
Thank you, Giovanni. Sorry to interrupt. I will ask you to summarize maybe the case studies in a minute, because unfortunately we are running out of time, and I would like to give the floor to another SME with another interesting application. So
absolutely,
I ask you to summarize. Thank you.
Absolutely, Antonio, and sorry for being slightly too long. Actually, I basically summarized the use cases with the three main products that we have developed, since they come from what the market has asked us. I will not go in details with all the use cases, but they come basically from three main areas, which are the automation of search. So connecting data sources, in order to provide the final user with a unified conversational search interface. Then the other one is from the, let's say, the help desk area, so automating customer service. And the other one is to interact with the machine in order to configure it or to have a conversational interface with the machine. These are the main three areas that use case areas that the market has been asking to us, and that we have developed in several one of them. And then I mean, we can also get in touch and talk in more detail about them. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Sorry for going a bit over time, and I'm available for any discussion or anything you may be interested to know about the technology of the company. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Giovanni, for this very interesting presentation and interesting application of your product. Then I will go on with the next SME innovator, and I'm very pleased to give the floor to Olga Chumakova from Bishur Healthcare, so that we can see indeed the application of generative AI into a strategic sector that was mentioned also by the Commission. Olga, over to you.
Well, thank you very much. Do you see my screen? Is it okay? Sorry. Is it okay? Do you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So just in a few words, we develop what we do at Bishur Online. We develop digital health platform for stroke prevention, and also we have a one-hand ECG wearable device for continuous monitoring, and very, very accurate tool for ECG interpretation. It is called Precise. So some of our products use machine learning, of course, and AI in a very, very deep level. But once upon a time, we have decided, to make our product, our completed product, like ECG interpretation, closer to end users. And in the same time, it was like after COVID, and we have contacted here in France. In France, we have contacted some organizations who were interested in, putting some health services to the pharmacies and increase the level of generalists, like primary care doctors engagement. And we have offered to use our services in pharmacy and to share ECG reports with the doctors directly. But it was, it was a bit difficult to, when patient doesn't have any, I would say, feedback from the machine. Okay, and we have connected ChatGPT. So what we have, it's like our ECG interpretation solution plus ECG machine and ChatGPT, and finally we have got a medical advice. So normally our service provides a very, very detailed ECG interpretation with all measurements, all details, all statistics to the cardiologist. And it is more like precise instrument for cardiologists for more accurate diagnostics. But that's not the case for pharmacy, because in pharmacy we use 6 leads or 8 leads ECG machine. But the goal was to make a screening for very high number of patients. Yeah, so we have used 6 leads ECG machine and this Gen AI tool. So what we finally have, we have pharmacists who do the examination. Then we have a connection. We send the report to generalists. It's like primary care doctor. And in the same time, we have a very precise interpretation for cardiologists. And so I just want to show you. How it works. It's just a small ECG machine. It's not mobile. I would say it's not wearable, of course, but it's mobile and it's portable and it's very easy to use. And as a result, for example, we have something like this with the language processing. So it's like in English. It is in. Oh, sorry. What's happened? What's happened? Ah, yeah, it's okay. So it's in French, for example. So patient has got an information that probably you are not okay. You should visit your doctor. You should visit cardiologist, and in the same time, so you could compare the report for patients. It's very easy with the like normal language. We use normal words, and in the other side, you can see only the first page of the report, which actually doctor and cardiologist has got. So it's just a first page. The report is very detailed and I would say long. So that's all my presentation. So the idea was to share with you that despite the using of deep tech and AI technology on a very, very deep level during the product development, we have decided to use Gen AI for simplifying the result. So finally, doctors have got their reports and they just have to read and like press the key OK and maybe change prescription, and patient has got a very simple explanation, are you okay or not, whether should you go to the doctor or you are welcome next year. So that's all. That's all from my side.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Olga. Interesting application indeed. And with that, we conclude this session, I will say. And we invite those of you who want to be in touch with our SMEs to do so in the follow-up of the meeting. And then I will say that with these presentations, we can indeed close the meeting if my colleague Orestis agrees with me.
Antonio, I agree. Very quickly, an opportunity. I know that most of the people here are already experts on generative AI, but we have other people or colleagues that can leverage on a course on generative AI essentials. We provide a discount. Take a look at the chat for more information, the code, and all the details of the program that you can use for your network.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Orestis. And indeed, I hope you will agree with me, and I'm sure you will agree with me if I say that we will continue to do this type of meetings in the next months, because indeed we want to give the opportunity to more SMEs in our focus group to showcase their solutions, but also we want to continue the dialogue with the European Commission and institutions to make sure that all the opportunities that are available to exploit the potential of innovation that is coming from European SMEs are indeed taken, and that our community can be at the forefront of these opportunities of the innovation on AI together with the European policymakers. So stay tuned and keep in touch with the focus group AI, all of you, and you will hear from us soon in the upcoming months for the next initiatives and events that we will take. Thank you very much for your time today, and we keep in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.